Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Jarred.
Or as we're going to call it today, Rad.
Yes, Rad. I forgot that one. But it's a bit of an arse backwards one today. We're...
Well, I suppose it's better than Dar.
That's true. Not only is it's first thing in the morning for Amber, it's middle of the afternoon for me, and for once it's nighttime for you, Dougie.
Nighttime for me.
Nighttime for Dougie, yeah. So you got me and broad ass daylight over here. Amber, blurry-eyed, bushy
We all have mugs.
We're all...
They've joined me for a change.
Yes. just the thought of alcohol right now, just... yeah,
this is an alcohol-free Jarred episode.
It is.
It's just entirely too early for me right now. I don't feel like graduating into being that type of alcoholic yet. Not yet.
I mean, I'm quite happy to just...
Oops, I just smashed my mic. This is the one time I could actually have a shot.
You actually could, yeah. Whereas me, I'm willing to submit myself to AA right now. So, yeah. But yes, no Jess today, because Jess is still recovering from... She was at a wedding last night, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Her and Sarah had a hot girl summer at Lauren and Mitch's wedding. Congrats, Lauren and Mitch. She had herself a little ball last night. She deserves it. She works very hard.
Yes.
I damn near had a stroke this morning. Not in that sense. When I woke up and I saw the chat. I don't mean the stroke. Nah. Wrong word. No. I did not
Bad
mean
choice of words, Ryan. Bad choice of words.
Just say that you almost had an aneurysm. You didn't stroke.
I nearly had an aneurysm.
There you go.
Yes. Fuck. Sorry, Jess. Sorry, Sarah, if you listen to this. I'm sorry. I don't mean it that.
Oh, they will be listening.
Oh, no. You know what? I still need to start
Ryan 19
listening.
strikes again.
It
really
fucking does. That was a bad one.
It really do be. But yeah, she had the wedding yesterday, and I have to commend Jess on how hard she fucking works, because her and Mike were gracious enough to have me as a guest on their conjoined podcast, the River Vale podcast. If you are a fan of Riverdale, if that's a guilty pleasure for you, River Vale is Jess's other podcast project that is just inherently comedic gold. It's really, really great. But they had me on yesterday, and we squeezed in our episode, and then she was like, all right, I got to get ready for this wedding. I mean, Jess was just go yesterday. You got to admire her ethic in that manner. And if you want to listen to that episode, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to premiere the day after ours.
So the Wednesday.
I could be fucking that up. And Ryan's guest spotted on it a couple times already, and
I have, yeah. How did you get on? Because it's a proper laugh, and it's a real...
Oh, my God. The episode that they had me watch, dude, I let them know. I'm like, that's a lot of cinema in one episode of television that's only like 45 minutes long.
Yep. I mean, I think I heard episode 4 and episode 8, and I remember Mike saying to me in specific, he says, right, I would like you obviously to do the episode 4 one. He was like, but then I want you to wait and then do episode 5. And I was like, episode 8. Where did 5 come from? Episode 8. And I was like, okay, well, that seems very, very specific. Why? It's just because so much shit happens between 4 and 8 that you'll think to yourself when watching episode 4, what the fuck is this shit? And then you get to episode 8 and be like, what the fuck is this shit? What the hell has happened in the past 4? And it literally was like that.
Yeah, no, that show is crazy. And I will say, the episode that they had me on, that's the only episode of Riverdale that I have ever watched, ever. And the way... Yeah, and but the way that Jess and Ryan like describe each episode in their podcast, I mean, I went into it and I wasn't lost. I knew who everyone was. I was able to watch it cohesively and know what the no was. So, yeah, go support our girl on her other project, Riverfield Podcast. It's great. Her and Mike they do some tremendous commentary.
They really do. I couldn't really keep up. But we'll gloss over that because it's cringy as fuck. So, we are doing it. Not only are we different today because time zones are all completely reversed around today and we're down one as well, but also a different order. It's Dougie today, not I.
No, only because I probably won't be able to talk too well next week.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, my band has a gig the night before, so
Yeah,
I might be a little bit croaky.
a little bit.
It's okay. I just want to look at you anyways.
I thought it was my voice.
It's all of it, baby. It's all of it.
Okay. I'll accept that then.
Should I go? Should I?
Yeah, please step out of the room and give us some privacy. Damn it.
Alrighty. So, Dougie, what have you got in store for us today?
Okay, so this one is a 25-year-old, I think it's 25-year-old cold case.
Ooh. Trucking on my territory there, dude.
Hang on. No, it's even older than that. Hang on.
I want to apologise for the crunching in advance, but I'm super, super, super hungry. And it's no snacky.
I'm surprised my voice isn't scratchier than it is right now. It's usually very scratchy in the morning. That's why I've got the tea.
I'm surprised I'm not how Dougie says he's going to be next week. Because with the way I've been partying over the weekend, listeners, just a heads up, I was actually out all weekend in Birmingham, which is one of our city centres, literally just partying hard. And there was one point during the night when we got the music going and we were, I say singing, screaming the lyrics to Linkin Park, quite a lot of their songs. We got to that level of the night when it was just Linkin Park soundtrack. I'm surprised this is still allowing me to speak, seriously.
Okay. So it's a 29-year-old cold case.
Oh, okay. Then
Wow.
just knock me out of the water. Go ahead.
So I'm flipping between different pages here. So October 1992, a 12-year-old girl, Rhianna, I know I'm going to get this name wrong, I apologise, Barreau or Barreau. It's Barreau. So I apologise if I get it wrong, but yeah.
Barreau.
I feel like I might be familiar with this, maybe.
She basically disappeared in broad daylight, and there's basically they've got no real solid leads of anyone. How she disappeared. Just
Up and vanished.
So her day started. Normally, she'd be meeting her mum for lunch or something like that. So basically, the mum, Paula Barreau, I'm going to say Barreau anyway, headed off to work at 8:30 a.m. Oh, this is in Morphett Vale in South Australia, the suburb of Morphett Vale. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly where that is myself. I haven't that, but anyway, and Rhianna wanted to get a Christmas card for a pen pal in the US, being October, back in the early 90s, the postal system wasn't that flash. So
No, yeah.
international travel took a bit longer for mail and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So she was going to go down the local newsagent and get a Christmas card. Unfortunately, that particular day, the bus drivers all went on, had a strike everywhere. So there was no buses running. So she'd rung her mum, spoken to her, and the mum said, "Okay, no worries, just yep, I'll let you walk down there." It was only like about a kilometre down the road to the local shopping centre. So she went down there at about. Hang on, I do have the times somewhere. So she arrived. So she left at about 10:30 a.m. And arrived. She bought the card at about 11:20 in the morning, and then headed home. She was seen cutting through the school, which is on her way home, at about 12:30, and that was the last known sighting of her. Her mum arrived home at 4 o'clock. I think it was around 4 o'clock, 4:30. I'm sorry for jumping back and forth like this. But I just want to make sure I get
you're
everything. Because every page has got it done differently, where some have certain bits written really well, all the information in certain places. So her mum arrived home from work at about 4:10 to a normal scene. Front door was locked, television was going, a record was sitting on the lounge room floor as if it had been played and then carelessly just discarded, and the Christmas card was sitting on the kitchen table. Apart from that, Rhianna was not there. So
But it
Mum-
looked like she at least made it home.
she had got home, yes,
To-
because
yeah.
the Christmas card
The card.
was still in the bag that
Yeah.
she got from the newsagent, and that was all sitting on the table, untouched. And Mum searched the house, could not find her. She rang all of her friends that she knew. No one had seen her, and so it was like, no, hang on, it's not right. So she called the police, and yeah, from then on, it's unknown. There was, so it's basically the police believe that it's possible that it might have been someone she knew. The fact that she was comfortable enough to be in the house with them, the fact that the front door was still locked, and she'd just been chilling in the house. No neighbours reported any suspicious noises or anything like that. No one heard any screams or anything like that. So she's just completely disappeared. There was numerous, like they put out report and have you seen this girl? And there was a lot of reports saying possible sightings. I think I did see somewhere of how many. So by the 25th of November that same year, they'd received 1,600 calls in regards to Rhianna.
Wow.
And on one day there was 140 calls.
Wow.
But nothing, everything they investigated,
It just came up
was
nothing.
Wow.
dead end. And they just couldn't understand it. Every lead they followed just was a dead end. And the saddest part that I read is her mum still lives in the same house, just in case Rhianna comes
She
home.
comes home. Oh my God.
That broke my heart when I read that part. That was just...
That gave me chills. What the?
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Which, I mean, in comparison
Yeah,
to my last week, the family wanted to up and just go to Atlanta, allegedly. I mean, which I mean, of course, they already knew that their daughter was deceased. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if something like that happened, that would probably be my mindset, is I want to be where I know Weldon can find me.
Yeah.
If that was my train of thought.
And like for the mother, she said, getting up in the morning and walking past Rhianna's room, she broke into tears. If she smelt a scent that was recognised with her daughter, she broke into tears. She opened the cupboard and saw her daughter's breakfast cereal in the cupboard. She broke into tears. And so it's just... Oh, can't imagine.
It's almost like
that.
forcing yourself to like live in this prison of uncertainty, and oh God,
it's just...
And like to this day, there's $1 million reward for any information leading to the discovery.
Wow.
What happened to her? Like they initially had an 100,000 reward, but it's now up to $1 million because they've just...
Oh yeah, did that. So...
Not been able to find anything.
I have a question, because you said this happened in October of 92?
Yep.
Okay. Now, mind you, I was only 2 years old at the time. So, were they able to, like, maybe pull phone records to see if, like, when she got home, if she had talked to somebody on the phone and, you know, maybe they said, hey, come meet me? I mean, was there anything, like, any type of evidence like that you saw?
Not that I saw, no. I couldn't find any... I apologise now. I'm not that good on the researching things side of things. My sources are abc.net.au, mysteriousuniverse.org, and kidspot.com.au. They're the three main ones where I'm jumping back and forth with information. But just with the fact that it was the middle of the day no one saw or heard anything strange.
What's confusing me is the fact... I mean, 1992, not that I would know, because I didn't even exist then, but the fact that she was 12 years old, did you say?
Yeah.
Right. She made it home, great, but she locked the door behind her. Now, as far as I'm aware, you know, at that time in particular, no one was really that concerned about security or anything like that, because everybody kind of knew each other and everybody was friendly in no matter what sort of area you were, you know, part of your local community. I'm confused as to why the door was like behind her, but also, well, obviously everyone's confused. I should just ups and vanishes. By the sounds of it, obviously with the record, the vinyl being on the floor shows a sign of a rushed job all of a sudden, because obviously that's not something that you just discard down.
Well, see, not
I
everyone
think that all depends.
would. Yeah, some kids will play a record, pull that one off, and grab another one and put it in, and not
true.
put it straight back into its cover.
True. Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah.
But also, I don't know the type of house that she lived in, because some houses I've lived in, all we've had is just a key lock, no actual doorknob. So it's every time you shut the door's locked.
Yeah.
But see, that would lead me to believe that she either, you know, whether she left with someone or not, she left the house thinking, all right, I'm going to go ahead and come back. Let me lock the door real quick. Because she, and that's why I asked if they had anything in terms of, you know, a phone record or anything like that. Because if someone calls and says, "Hey, come meet me somewhere," they would maybe have that. But again, in 1992, I'm not sure what the capabilities of that were. I would assume, but you know what they say about assuming, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd think they'd still be able to get the phone records back
Just
then.
something.
Yeah.
From the telecom, or Telstra, as it was. I think it was still Telstra back then. But anyway,
so either even if someone called her and said, "Hey, come meet me somewhere," or if someone just showed up, and that could also kind of fall into Ryan's theory where it looks maybe a bit rushed, because if someone like just showed up and was like, "Hey, I need you to go with me somewhere," whatever their reasoning is, and she's like, "Oh yeah, sure," and she just sets it down, gets up, grabs her keys, and says, "All right, just let me lock up."
Well.
Yeah, well, that's exactly how it looks. She was just chilling at home, listening to music, watching the telly, and someone she knows has turned up, and she's just basically like, "I just need, can you come with me for half an hour or something like that?" And
because it's not like
hi, like, "I'll have you home before your mom gets home."
It's not like there's even any signs of. There's no signs of forced entry or anything like that.
No.
So you can't even. I mean, you couldn't even say it was a home kidnapping because there's no signs or evidence that happened. Unless we know there was any windows open, maybe somebody crept through the window. But then again, if you're going for a home kidnapping, why would you bother trying to climb through the window? You just go straight for the door. Maybe it was a case of after she, went out, say with this theory of, a supposed friend or something happened after that.
Yeah,
well, it's.
But you'd think the friend would come forward,
unless they went. Oh, but because then there would be a case against somebody else. There'd be a missing persons case with somebody else, wouldn't there? So.
Yeah.
So were there any types of physical evidence, like a strange fingerprint or nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
They could not. There was no evidence of. There was no signs of any struggle or anything like that. That nothing was out of place. All of her personal possessions were still there, apart from her house keys. And she just disappeared.
So the house.
Wait, were her house keys at home?
No.
Oh, they were.
Oh,
okay.
So.
No.
Oh.
So it's almost like she ducked out
just up and vanished
afterwards.
Yeah.
But no one, because on the side where you were pointing out, Ryan, someone else might have snuck in through a window, whatnot. There would have been a sign of a struggle.
Yeah.
And possibly a scream, unless they'd got their hand over her mouth. But then they still had to get her out of the house with no one seeing her.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact that nobody saw as well.
Even if no one saw her leave anyway.
And you said as well it was she lived near a school area as well?
No, the school was...
The school was on her way
not
home.
very far away. It was on her way home from the shopping centre.
So it's the community basically where you have a lot of families within the area, which means there's at least some prying eyes somewhere, from another, stay-at-home mother or a babysitter or
the last
something.
the last person to come forward was someone that saw her cutting through the school. And that was the last time at about 12:30. And that was the last time she was seen alive.
Wow.
And,
it's as sad as it is to say it, that's one of those cases where it immediately becomes a cold case before it even really begins because of the lack of evidence. It's...
Yeah.
Because there's really nothing... Everything on that is pure theory-based because there's nothing else to go off.
I was trying to... they interviewed...
I was about to say, just the way that it is, though.
Yeah.
I'm totally convinced she had to go off with someone that she knew.
Well, that's what the detective in charge of the case, that's his theory, but they can't find it.
Determine who.
Yeah, and he said he believes that it's someone closer than people think. Like he's 25 years after he retired from police, the Mr. Arthur, or Detective Arthur, can't remember his first name, he's still haunted by this case. He said it was the only one.
I would be too.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like I said, they had thousands and thousands of leads. I saw somewhere that, like, they interviewed 30-odd thousand different suspects or something. Well, that might have been for a different case I was looking at.
I was going to say, was there any, interviewing of suspects?
Oh, yeah, every phone call they got with a lead, they followed it up and to the nail and made sure that it definitely that wasn't the case. Like there was a report. One guy said he saw a girl matching Rhianna's description near a white Holden Tirana, which is a little Holden car in Australia. And and they had Victorian plates on it, and they could not find that car. It's like they didn't have the number plate, so so they searched, but they could not find that car. And
I have another question, and you might not know the answer. Was she ever considered a runaway?
No.
I was about to say, because there's a specific reason why I'm asking. I know, especially in this area where I am, a lot of missing girls are almost immediately considered a runaway, no matter what the suspicious, absence of the person is, which I find to be incredibly fucked up. Because, I mean, if a parent knows their child enough to call and say, my kid is missing, this is not how my child acts, this is completely out of the norm.
Yeah.
A lot of times on our side of the planet, we're just going to cart this off as a runaway for the time being. Kids do stuff like this all the time. Kids might, but not my kid.
Yeah.
And you just wish, and in a lot of cases, if police take the report itself seriously, the moment it happens, cases like this don't happen. Happen,
they did take this one seriously.
Okay.
And like a newspaper interviewed the principal of her school, and because apparently it took her mum a few weeks to actually go to the school to retrieve the books and personal belongings that were left at the school. But yeah, he recalled Rhianna saying that she was a student who just got on with the job. She was cooperative, friendly, and had a really nice smile. She had a close group of friends, but she enjoyed the respect of her classmates and certainly the respect of her class teacher. She just seemed to be a good, solid, quite high-achieving student with a lot of potential, and so she was a real asset to the school. So not your typical type of girl to just up and run away.
Run away.
I was thinking that, but also at the same time, when you said that, as soon as she said the information that she was going to get a Christmas card for a pen pal in the States, there's no way that she would just up and go. To have a characteristic like that, and to have a pen pal and take the effort to to do all of that, you wouldn't just up and go unless something come up. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and like I know when I was growing up, I never lived in the major cities or anything like that, but I know back then it wasn't as bad. I don't mean it that way. I mean, people were a little bit more relaxed when it came to that sort of thing. It's like my friends and I used to ride our bikes everywhere, and as long as you're home by a certain time, it was all good. And of course, call your parents or whatever you have to do. Tell them I'm going over a friend's place, and jump on your bike and go. And I used to ride to school every day, or walk if my bike wasn't working. But I know people are a lot more paranoid these days. And, I mean, it's fair enough. I totally understand.
Every right to be with the way everything's going.
But, I mean, in the 90s, early 90s, it probably still wasn't as bad. Like another parent said her sons used to do that, just jump on their bikes and they'd go off to a friend's place.
Yeah, which, I mean, you totally grew up in that perfect, like, Latch Key Kid era. Like, you could just go off, but, I mean, follow your curfew rules, but it wasn't... And, I mean, it was like that here in the States, too. That's why they called them Latch Key Kids. I know definitely... You've never heard the term Latch Key Kids?
No.
You know, the little chain latch key that goes across the door, they used to consider that, like, the babysitter. And they called them Latch Key Kids. Like, hey, we're going to go off to work. We're going to go off to do this. Make sure you keep this lock on. We'll be back.
Yep.
Like, that was their babysitter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely... It's not unheard of. I think it just has to do with the time. And as time goes on, you actually realize how shitty people can be. And it makes everyone paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
I remember... No, go on. I was going to say, I just remember, when I was, when I finally arrived in 95, right up until, I'd say, as and when I could ride a bike and I was, old enough to start going out with my friends and whatever, which would have been early 2000s. Math, Ryan, it's not hard. I probably said about 2004, 2005, even at that sort of stage. Yeah. Even then I could still, do that. I would go up and go on my bike and go, just go off with my mates, and my parents would be like, yeah, just be back by 6, 7 o'clock or whatever to get washed up and ready for bed and whatever. And you could, but then there is just the stage now where you can't do that. Well, you kind of can, obviously, because everybody's got a mobile phone now, so parents can keep tabs on their kids a lot more. The communication is a lot stronger than what it used to be. So yes, they can, but also at the same time, no, you wouldn't. Nowadays, you wouldn't want your kid doing that,
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of how I do Weldon right now, and maybe it's because he's my only baby, and he's the only baby that I'm going to have because I suck at making babies. But, like, even when we're outside to play, like, when we're at, like, I have one friend, her backyard is, like, all fenced in, she's got these nice, big back, like French doors, and like you can see like the trampoline in her backyard, and I can watch him play with her kids, and I have like a good vision, eye vision, and like I don't mind him just playing in her backyard with her 2 kids who happen to be much older. I'm okay with that, but like even at my home. Like, I don't have a fenced-in backyard. Like, I just live in the middle of this big field with a whole bunch of trees. But if he wants to go play outside, I'm sitting outside with him. Yeah. And there's just been times where I'm like, all right, baby, come on, let's go in the house for like 2 minutes. Mom's got to pee.
Yeah.
And I make him go back inside the house with me. And then when I'm done, then we can go back outside and play. But I don't like the idea of me just... stepping into the house for a few minutes and then coming back, because in my mind, again, traumatized from John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah.
I feel like the minute I take my eyes off my kid, something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
No,
can happen in
I
the
totally
quickest
understand that.
times. Yeah. You often hear cases. I think I was watching that Unsolved that was on Netflix a while back, and I think there was a case on there where literally, I think there were some kids out.
Yes,
with their
I know
auntie.
exactly what you're talking about.
Within the space of what, 5 minutes, if that.
It was
Not-
something crazy.
It
like that,
was.
yes.
I think it was even less than that. It was not long. I think she literally went down to like the ice cream shop or something. It wasn't long. Bam, kid gone. And
Never
it was not
seen
like
it.
it's not like she even took her eyes off him, because she could still see the play area, and all of a sudden, just the kid was gone. It doesn't. If someone knows what they're doing in that sort of instance, whether it's a kidnapping or whatever, it doesn't take long. It doesn't. So.
And then your whole life has changed forever. I
Yeah.
mean, just
Yeah.
poor Rhianna's mom.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
But,
I'm-
so,
Just the idea of her still being in that same house with the same room, and if it, she probably hasn't even gone in the room. If she has, she probably hasn't changed much.
yeah.
No, probably just keeping it clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen some that do that. They don't even go in there at all.
Yeah.
The door stays shut. The room is still exactly the same as the day they left.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
which is horrible. But you can understand on that side that you don't want to take the chance of going and then them coming home and not knowing where you're not being there.
You hear of that though as well, don't you? There have been cases that have come forward where someone's gone missing, and then 25, 30 years later, they've been able to be freed, or they've escaped, whatever, and they've gone back. And sometimes obviously the occupants have either have moved or that are still there, and even the ones that have moved, they're like, well, you still get the link up and whatever. But I understand the concept of not wanting to. But you do hear of it, so it could still happen. You never know with this one. It'd be amazing.
But I mean, on
if it
that
did.
side, it's all she has to do is
Yeah.
knock on a neighbour's house,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone will go, and call the police, and
Yeah.
maybe. But still, you just
You
just
wouldn't
don't
want to take
know.
the chance of going, because you never know. And it's the grieving side of everything, and I get it.
So
It makes perfect sense.
apparently, what was it? 4 years ago. So in 2017, in August 2017, the South Australian Police highlighted Rhianna's case again as part of National Missing Persons Week, and offered not just the $1 million reward, but immunity as well from prosecution, just to find Rhianna.
Wow.
Oh my God. And no one came forward?
Nope, still nothing.
That's a heartless
So,
son of a bitch.
It's
right
just
there.
to provide closure for the family.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, but yeah, it was.
Well, that kind of ties in with mine slightly. That last little bit that you just said there, that kind of ties in with mine.
Ooh.
Sort of, anyway. Yeah. Wow, that was
So
the fact that
yeah,
that's
that's
29
about
years old
all
and
I
still-
can
yeah.
offer on that one.
29
So,
years old, cold case. Wow, that's
That's a
damn,
heavy one,
That's a heavy
buddy.
one, but that is what I like about. Well, that's the wrong time to use what I like about that, because you got to remember these are true stories.
Just say what fascinates me.
Thank you. What fascinates me about this is the fact
You're welcome.
is the pure lack of evidence on everything, and
It's just-
like I said, it's like a cold case before it even starts, because there's no leads to go off. There's nothing. You're relying on witnesses and phone calls. I mean, the fact that they had so many come forward, and still nothing that it led to.
Yeah,
I get the
Like-
desperation at the end where it's like, look, not only will you get $1 million, but also immunity. Just come forward, just so we have the slightest bit of it. Just
There was a belief that it might have been linked to a predator from Victoria,
right.
nicknamed Mr. Cruel. But same again, there was no evidence or anything like that.
To link.
That's another one that's never been solved. They've never
Right.
caught the guy. He brazenly abducted and sexually assaulted at least 3 girls between 87 and 91.
Jesus.
Like, broke into the house, tied up the parents, and kidnapped the daughter.
Jeez. That nickname
But
doesn't almost.
Two of them were released within a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was not.
Yikes.
But that's a different story anyway. But yeah, they thought it might be a link to that, but and another. I'm just finding scrolling back and forth
Finding
between.
more
I
and
just
more.
found another bit with regards to the keys. A man said he'd found a set of keys on one of the roads nearby. That matched the description of the keys that Rhianna was thought to have had on her. So he went to a payphone across the road. Back then, we didn't have mobiles. Those that did were really rich. But they were really big bricks of mobile phones.
Massive things.
So he went to the payphone, called the police, and he said by the time he got back, the keys were gone. So...
Wow.
And he
Oh,
didn't see
that's-
anything. Yeah, and so there was nothing, again, to go on that side. So it's...
That could be taken with a pinch of salt either way. Like, that could be just somebody wanting to try and give some sort of false lead, or it could have been genuine.
Or,
Um, But the fact
Well,
that
as
it
said-
is, but there would have been at the stage
Yeah.
they would have taken any lead, any
As
shred of
soon
anything.
as they'd mentioned, I think I've found Rhianna's keys,
Yeah,
the police would have been there as quick as they could.
yeah,
to-
yeah. I get it.
So-
They would have gone to the stage to try and get anything, but yeah. Wow.
yeah,
'Cause
that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Well,
Doesn't. Oh, that was a few weeks after her disappearance, so it's still fresh. So
Yeah.
police
Right.
would have been straight onto it. But yeah, so
Oh yeah, no, definitely an interesting one. Definitely. Well, thank you very much, Dougie.
Good job, Dougie.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, like I said, the biggest thing for me is just how she just
Just
vanished.
disappears. Yeah.
Vanished.
Well, I'm torn between two that I'm potentially going to do next week. Like I said, Dougie mentioned a bit of evidence there into his, which kind of ties in with mine. Well, one of the ones I want to do. But recently there's a very local case that happened nearby. Literally, when I say nearby, I'm talking in the next village where I grew up. It is
Ryan
now
did it.
It's now been known as.
That's why I had to move to the next village.
Yeah, that's why I had
Yeah.
to go. No, this only happened a couple of years ago, and it's now been known as one of the most notorious and worst cases the UK has seen in a very long time. No, I did not say Siri. It's disgustingly vile. My only issue is I want to talk about it because I want to raise awareness about it, but it is solved. They know who done it. They got him. He's behind bars.
Well, that's good.
So It's very good. I may go into that. I might do that as one of my other ones. I know it's Unsolved Mysteries, but this one is so local and so recent and so fresh. And the thing is as well, I know the guy that did it. So I kind of have that tie-in. So I might go into that. I might go into that one, but that is a nasty one, I will admit. But the other one that I want to do is a very infamous UK one from, I don't know what, I want to say 80s. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that one.
We wouldn't.
Yeah, I think. No, no one quote me on anything unless I've got backed up sources. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that one next week. Yeah, it's a grisly one, but again, they all are. But yeah, that one is. I think you guys might have at least heard of it when I mentioned the title of it. So yes, that'll be my one next week. Yeah. So yeah, that's anybody else got any final closing thoughts?
No, I'd just.
No.
I don't think I have any, except for, just Dougie, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, I'd love for the family to get closure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
It's
about to
just-
actually suggest make sure that you send Ryan her picture or like link information if people have any information on her whereabouts. That way,
Just anything.
some good
yeah.
can come out of sharing the story.
Because what we are doing with this being Unsolved Mystery is like the cases that are still ongoing, or at least recent, like with Jess's.
With Tabitha.
With
that's
Tabitha,
still-
thank you. We are posting obviously links, content information on our socials, just in case. Because as Jess said the other week, Jarred has reach. We've just surpassed 11,000 downloads across 24 different countries.
Hell yeah,
So-
we forgot to mention
That's
that.
wild. Yes.
So we're,
Thank you,
we get
people.
in there. Yes, thank you everybody for the downloads. It does
We're
mean a
kind
lot
of a
for
big
us.
deal. Not really.
It throws us up the ranks. So, literally, if anybody has anything,
Yeah.
it
Doesn't matter how small.
It's going to be useful
Yeah,
for
at
those
the end
involved.
of the day, we don't want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we don't want to, really be exploitative of any of these stories. This is just
No.
stuff that interests us, that we find fascinating.
Yeah.
And things that we really would love answers to. Just, I
Yeah.
very much would like solid, concrete answers about John Benet Ramsey. I don't really think I'm going to get it, but... Yeah. It's, we just want to share stories and be helpful.
Yeah. It's all about raising awareness with these ones. But thank you everybody for listening. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean,
Really,
Podchaser,
anywhere you stream your
any
podcasts.
podcasting site. And if you can't find us on one of them, let us know, and we'll try and get it on there. Yeah, rate, review, download, because at the moment our downloads are, we've just surpassed 11,000, which is under great than the beginning milestone. So again, thank you everybody, but that's what means the most to us. Share it around, get other people listening to this, because it's great. We love you all for it. You can find us on any social platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have our own website. We have merch out as well. Subscribe to our Patreon. Dougie's wearing the merch there. There it is.
Look at Dougie. Look at Dougie's sexy ass.
We got 3 tiers of Patreon content. There it is. You can get discount on all of our merch like that if you subscribe to our Patreon. You get early access to everything. You get monthly bonus content. You can get, AMAs, Ask Us Anything. We even have a link where you can ring up and leave us a voicemail, which we will then play on the show as well. Be kind, though. I know I'm dumb, but be kind. I think that's everything that we normally say. Or that
Sounds
Jess
about
normally
right.
says
Yeah.
anyway.
I think so.
If not, sue me. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Thank you all.
We'll see you next
See ya.
week. Bye.